Time now to talk about a topic actually that we've covered a lot on this programme, and I make no excuses for that because I really do think it is, well, I think we'll look back and just think, sorry, what? We allowed what to happen? I'm talking about changing places toilets. The mother of a disabled 11-year-old boy in the news today because she is suing a theme park for failing to provide an appropriate toilet for her son. Rachel George claims Flambard's theme park in Cornwall failed to make reasonable adjustments for her son Adam because it did not provide a specialised changing places toilet. A changing places toilet, in case you're not familiar, is larger than a standard disabled toilet, and it provides extra space, changing benches, hoists, that kind of thing. But the park's manager says that installing such a facility would be unreasonably expensive. Clive Coleman reports.
3, 2, 1, go!
Adam George is on his way down a zip wire at BF Adventure in Cornwall. He was born with a genetic condition that weakens his muscles, affects his speech, and makes him a full-time wheelchair user. He also has autism, but it hasn't held him back.
Don't worry, Mum. I'm right behind you.
Waiting at the bottom is Adam's mum, Rachel.
Yes, he absolutely loves any kind of physical challenge, big physical movements, flying through the air, top speed. Very much Adam.
How did you enjoy the zip wiring today?
Good. I love it.
What do you like about the zip wire? What's so good about it?
I go down and...
Adam loves Flambard's theme park in Helston, but it doesn't have a toilet with changing facilities suitable for his needs. So when the family visit, they need to hire a Mobiloo, which can cost hundreds of pounds. Rachel George is part of Changing Places, a group aiming to increase access for disabled people who need hoists and changing tables. In 11 years, the group has successfully seen over 1,000 of the toilets installed across the country. She doesn't expect small businesses, cafes and shops to install a Changing Places toilet, but larger, all-day attractions like Flambard's.
I think a place like Flambard's, a theme park, where they expect people to arrive in the morning, stay all day, eat, drink, stay late in the evening, remain for the fireworks show. I personally would expect it reasonable that I can use a toilet when I go there. So why shouldn't Adam? Why shouldn't all disabled people be able to have their toileting needs met with dignity and safety?
Under the Equality Act, all service providers are under a duty to make reasonable adjustments to ensure that, as far as possible, disabled people can enjoy the same experience as non-disabled. So, question, is requiring a business to provide a Changing Places toilet reasonable?
Inclusivity obviously is important for us to make sure that everyone has access to our park and the rides.
Richard Smith is the general manager of Flambard's.
We have to bear in mind that there is an overall cost to putting in a full-on Changing Places unit, and we've been quoted for the building as well as the equipment in excess of £40,000. That would have an effect on jobs possibly, and what we have done as a sort of interim stage is put in a mobile hoist, a changing bed, and we're getting feedback from the disabled community on what's working and what's not working, so as we can carry on developing the structures we've put in place.
Adam's case isn't just about one young boy. Rachel George.
Adam's not the only person who needs these facilities. In the UK alone, there's some 250,000 people who need these facilities. These people aren't going out. They're not having days out. They are living on the edge of life, and that's not okay.
Adam just wants to spend days out with his friends, but that depends in part on what the law decides is reasonable for others to do in making sure he can use the toilet.
Clive Coleman reporting there. It's going to be interesting, this one to watch. Could be a landmark case. Zoe Blomfield is from Hove. She was listening to that. I know, Zoe, because we've spoken before about this. This is a topic you feel extremely passionate about.
Yes, it is. Myself, I have a son, Wilson. He's 7.5. And we live in Hove, and he needs a Changing Places toilet to be able to meet his toileting needs. And I came on and spoke to you, I think it was about 3 years ago now, about getting one in Churchill Square. We're still no closer knowing to when the start date for that is. and it was promised that it was going to be finished by January 2017, and we're now in 2018, and there's no evidence of it starting.
Well, you had the manager there of this theme park in Cornwall making the point that it's too expensive, you know, that you can't expect businesses to find that kind of cash. He was talking about £40,000.
Yeah, that's not right. If there's somewhere that they can have a large changing bed and a hoist fitted in, you're probably looking at more around £10,000 just to have those pieces of equipment put in. Because I'm sure that there is space somewhere that they could have it done. I mean, they've managed to put in a bench and a hoist now, which was obviously less than the 40 grand that they thought they were going to be spending out on.
I always think whenever we talk about changing places toilets, I think the problem is it's one of those things that people don't really think about until, God forbid, they find themselves in a position where either they or a loved one needs one. This is your opportunity, really, I guess, to inform and educate the rest of us. I mean, what is it like? You know, if you want to go out with your son, you know, what ends up happening if you can't find one of these changing places toilets?
Wilson, he has to sit in his nappy all day. Like, I refuse to go now. Like, I mean, he's 7.5 and he's getting heavy. Well, he is heavy, and I now pick and choose where I go, and it's getting to the point now where, as a family, we're not going to places. So then Heston's missing out, and we're missing out on days out as a family because we can't go there because there isn't a toilet for me to use, and I refuse to lay him on a toilet floor.
Yeah, well, I know before you took that picture, didn't you, that went viral, you know, of him laying on the floor. And I know you got a lot of stick for it at the time. People going, how can she do that? And it's like, because I have no other choice.
No, I literally have no other choice. I have to lift him out of his wheelchair. I have to lay him on a floor to be able to put his pad back on. And although he is toilet trained, he needs to use the toilet. He knows when he needs to go, and I need to find a toilet within a reasonable amount of time, which any other human being would be able to get to a toilet within 5 minutes. And for me to be able to go and enjoy a day out, such as Churchill Square or anywhere, you just can't. There are changing places toilets in Brighton, but to leave Churchill Square and get down to Marine Drive, by that point Wilson's wet himself, so
yeah, that's a schlep.
That's why I have to keep him in a pad. So the places, I'm not going out, and I'm not going to these places, and I don't go to certain theme parks and things, and we are missing out on days out because they don't have changing places toilets, and it's just not fair. And why should me and other families miss out on having a life?
And the thing is, as well, it's important, I think, to stress it isn't just children that are being affected by this. You know, it's disabled adults. You know, and no one wants to think about it, but it could well be one of us. You know, you don't know what's around the corner.
No, you have no idea. I mean, lots of people who are severely disabled can still use a toilet. I just feel that lots of people and businesses are very much like, oh, they're disabled and they won't know how to use the toilet anyway, so they can just stay in their paddle. That's how it makes you feel, is that they just don't care. And it is just down to money, and it shouldn't be down to money. These businesses are making so much money, and I just think the reason...
Oh, we've lost the line with Zoe.
Company.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. We lost you for a second. How do you feel then about this mother who's now taking this theme park to court?
I think it's amazing. I think more people need to do it. Big companies like Cineworld and places where we need to go to have a nice day out. Wilson enjoys the cinema. He went. I've been 10 times with him to go and see The Greatest Showman over the last few weeks. So
it's a good film. I could watch that easily 10 times.
And they're the things that he enjoys, and I feel like I can't. I'm having to lift him. And lay him on toilet floors, which I don't want to do anymore. And that's all of us mums are finding, and it's just really difficult. We have a difficult life looking after our children, and they have a difficult life as it is. And I just think they deserve to have more dignity and have a safe place to be able to go to the toilet. It's just a normal human need.
Zoe, thank you so much for joining us. Lots of love to you and your family. Of course, the other side of this argument is cost. Claire, for example, on the text line says, yes, it would be great if all places you spend the whole day at had a changing places toilet, but Flambards have already installed a hoist and a changing bed. Does this woman want to bankrupt them? Someone else, though, saying it's disgusting that any person should have to be laid on the floor of a loo. We wouldn't expect an adult to do so. Why more a vulnerable child, let alone one with difficulties? This is from Viv. She says, my partner has a radar key, which all folk with difficulties should have. Greedy stores and shops, so wherever, should be made to implement proper facilities for all. Fab show. You can let me know your thoughts on this. You can text 81333, start your message with the word radio, or you can call.